Okay, well now they all say they're streaming. Okay, and I have an excellent connection. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now I am live on YouTube. Let me go live on Insta because it is 4 o'clock. And let me go live on Facebook. Okay. Hey guys! Alright, it is Friday at 4, and you know that what that means. We are live. Why do my ears look like they're lopsided and too far forward? I think because they're fighting with my headphones. Okay. Say lovey. That's what it is. We'll deal with it. Why is my mic all the way down here? Okay, so um, we are live on 3 platforms this week, all from my computer. I don't have Instagram on my phone anymore because I did some digging. You'll remember if you've been with me for a while that the program I had to do it before there was a program you had to use that kind of worked between my streaming manager and Instagram, and every time I used it, Instagram was all concerned because it thought my account had been hacked, and I stopped using it and started streaming from my phone. Well, now Instagram lets me stream from within Instagram, just like Facebook does. So we have YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram that are all live from the same computer for the first time. Yay! Round of applause, as I do with my tutoring students. Actually, round of applause is like this, but same idea. Okay. There were a couple Disney deals that ended last week, but don't be sad. I expect there to be more coming down the pike any moment. I do have some good Disney news though. Food and wine at Disney California Adventure. Um, some of this stuff I wish I could show you pictures somehow because I don't want to just hold them up to the screen, but um, some of this stuff looks really good. They have a couple new things this year. They have some old favorites coming back. Um, so let's talk Food and Wine Festival food for California Adventure. Um, there is a s'mores caramel tart at California Craft and Brew. There are Impossible Chicken Parm Bites at Earth Eats. There's a grilled top sirloin at Garlic Kissed. All this stuff looked really yummy. Um, there's a Mickey Snickers macaroon at Nuts About Cheese. And something before I go much further into all these delectable things that are then going to make you hungry, it's no wonder I have extra food on Friday night when I talk about food on my lives. They have a sip and savor pass, and I know they've had that before, but there are 2 versions this year. You can get a 4 coupon or an 8 coupon pass. So, Disney's always looking for ways to improve and change things up and make them better. So there we go. They now have you now have 2 pass options. Let's see. Cluckadoodle Moo has pizza flavored wings. They have a barbecue beef brisket slider. That sounded pretty yummy. There's a tangerine cocktail. D has garlic mac and cheese with peppered bacon. We have, in my family, we have a mac and cheese recipe we make. My grandmother, I don't know if she created it or if she modified a recipe. I don't know. I just know it's hers. Story behind it is my grandfather loved traditional macaroni and cheese. My grandmother did not like it at all. So she came up with kind of an Italian mac and cheese. If I had to label it, I'd call it Italian mac and cheese. Um, it's macaroni pasta or any kind of pasta and tomato sauce and cheddar cheese and bacon and onion. So as soon as I saw the pepper and if you're making it for somebody that really likes black pepper, you can get the pepper crusted bacon, which I did for years. I had somebody in my family that really liked it, liked the pepper flavor in it, and we used the pepper crusted bacon when we made it for them. So as soon as I saw this on the menu, it reminded me of that. It's not always about the food. Sometimes it's about the memories and the connections to the food. Um, there's an olive oil cake. There's a huckleberry citrus cooler. I've never had huckleberry. Actually, I don't know. No, that wasn't huckleberry. That was something else. I did have something really cool in Colorado, but it wasn't huckleberry. It was a different kind of berry I hadn't had before. So I would try the huckleberry cooler just because I would want to know what huckleberry was like. If you've had huckleberry and you can describe it or equate it to something else a little more common, I'd love to know what it tastes like. Nuts About Cheese has a barbecued pulled pork macaroni and cheese. There's plenty of mac and cheese at this thing, I think. There's two different kinds. I would probably just go between the two stalls and eat all mac and cheese all day. I'm a little bit of a carby. There's also, this looked good too for dessert. There's a peanut butter and jelly whiskey shake. I think it appealed to me because I can't have traditional peanut butter. It's too sticky. My dental work won't handle it. But I can do it in things like I can have chocolate peanut butter ice cream. And I can have peanut butter Reese's peanut butter cups. So I think I could probably have that too, which is probably why it appealed to me. Yes, I do have a nut allergy, but I can do a little bit of peanuts without a problem. Peanuts are not the nut I'm allergic to, pecans are. So I have to be careful, but I can do peanut butter in limited quantities. Um, and yes, in case you're curious, I do travel with an EpiPen just in case. Always better safe than sorry. Although, based on experience from my son, usually what we do is break out and have upset stomachs. We don't actually go into true anaphylactic shock, thank God. But I empathize with people who actually have a real risk of that and have worse allergies than I do and um, have to avoid it at all costs. Okay, so there's not a lot of, we're kind of waiting for the new travel deals to come out. I think we're going to get some at the end of the month. But it is a great time to think about where you want to go for, okay, if it's spring break, spring break is kind of breathing down your neck. I mean, my son's on spring break like the 10th of March, which is like 3 weeks from now. I know I can't talk today. Why is it always Friday when I go live that I can't talk? I know spring break varies. I know some schools do it closer to the traditional Easter holiday, and you just get Good Friday and Easter Monday as part of your spring break. My son's school's actually doing it a little earlier this year. They changed some things around with their marking periods and their exams for the upper schoolers, and apparently it's connected to that. I would have thought that would have made it later, not earlier, but what, c'est la vie. Nobody cares what I think. They do what they need to do, and the parents adapt. So whenever spring break is, you could do some, if you don't want to do a full blown vacation, which I get because we're just coming off of Christmas, and maybe you want to do something bigger in the summer, and we'll get to that in just a moment. Think about a day trip or a long weekend. There's the Corning Glass Museum outside of New York. We stopped there on the way into Canada. We were doing Niagara Falls and we drove because being East Coast, we can do that. It made a great break in our trip. They have some really, really, really cool stuff. Um, just things that are made of glass that you would just never, never think are glass. And I'm gonna have to, I'm making myself a note. They have this really cool, one of the really cool things we saw. They actually had rope that was made out of glass. Really, really cool. It reminded me of the rope you would use to tie up a boat. It wasn't that thick, but it was that kind of rope. They also have make your own things. You can make Christmas ornaments. I have a pendant that I made. Um, and they had some other things. I'm trying to remember what else they had. We did Christmas ornaments. I think they had like a bowl, like a small glass like bowl or container of some sort. So that's a great place. If you have littles or smallers, you might want to do one of the Crayola. Um, Crayola, there's one in Philly. I'm trying to remember the rest of the name. Crayola Adventure, I think, or Crayola Experience. There's also Turkey Hill Experience. You could do a day trip to a zoo or somewhere that it's hard to, that you don't necessarily go to on the weekend because it's travel and crowded. Maybe doing it one day during spring break. It might be a little less crowded. Um, all kinds of cool stuff. You could have a movie day. Take the kiddos to their favorite place for lunch, take them to a movie. You could have a movie at home day if it's going to be rainy and gross. Maybe order, lunch from there, run out. If you've got two adults, run out, get lunch. Um, make pop some popcorn, get some of their snacks, let them put their PJs on early, and curl up and watch the movie while the rain falls. Okay, so after spring break, of course, we have summer. This is a good time to start planning summer stuff. People usually plan summer 3 to 6 months out, sometimes further. But a lot of people are in the 3 to 6 month window, which is where we are. Okay, we're on the edge of it because that would really be, well, that would be March to September. So I guess we're not. I always think of summer as ending in September, but it really doesn't because schools go back in August now. I know I'm old. Oh well. Is what it is. But you could cruise, you could do a theme park. There's Disney, there's Universal. There are a lot of local places. For me, I have King's Dominion and Hershey Park that make great. Hershey Park makes an okay day trip. It's like an hour and a half each way. Um, King's Dominion is a little further than that, so that would make a good weekend trip. There's Cedar Point. There's Legoland. I was talking to one of my reading students, and he went to Legoland in Florida last summer. There's the Busch Gardens. There's Busch Gardens Tampa. There's Busch Gardens in Williamsburg. I know there are a couple others. And of course, you don't have to go to a theme park. You can take a cruise. You can go to a new city. Maybe you want to do a New York trip. Take in a Broadway show. Eat at Ellen Stardust Diner. Window shop on Fifth Avenue. Visit Macy's. M&M's is there. Hershey is there. Um, you can do the Rockettes. You can do the ice rink in the winter. I'm trying to remember where it is. And I'm drawing a blank. But during the summer, it is outdoor seating. So you can sit there and enjoy your food outside and people watch. If you're a museum person, there are plenty of those. There's the Met, there's MoMA. You could do the 9/11 Museum, and tour the 9/11, tour the memorial. What else is in New York that's really cool? Central Park. How could I have forgotten Central Park? Rockefeller Center. That's what I was trying to think of, where the big Christmas tree is every year. It's a Christmas tree and an ice rink, and in the summer it is outdoor seating. Um, Statue of Liberty. You could do a day trip out to the Statue of Liberty. That's really cool. I did it as a bus trip years ago, not a day trip from New York City. But it's really cool. We did this. We walked through the statue as much as they let you. We toured on Ellis Island itself. They have big displays about the immigrants and different time periods. I believe there are three, depending on the time period. I did not get to do the one I really wanted, which is when my grandfather's family would have come over. I got to do some of it, but I didn't get to do quite all of it. So now, I still have a reason to go back. Um, Also, if you're one of those planners, doers, think aheaders, it's not too early to start thinking fall. Especially if you want to go for Thanksgiving or Christmas or one of the busier seasons. Everybody gets a little busier that time of year. I know the theme parks do it. I know the other places do it. Even if what you want is not quite bookable yet, if you reach out and let me know, I can keep an eye on things. And then we can get you in early while you still have good selection and good prices. Things tend to get more expensive as your selections get more limited. So keep that in mind as you're thinking about summer and fall. Um, but there's lots and lots of stuff out there. So if you give me some idea where you want to go, we can get you there. I just need you to give me a starting point. But summer is a great time for day trips. So is spring break. Sometimes summer, if you do like a 3 or 4 day trip spread out amongst the summer, kind of makes the summer last longer. It gives you a nice break every month to get that day off and that long weekend. Um, So just an idea. I'm just putting it out there. Flower and Garden Festival will be starting soon in Walt Disney World. We talked about Disney California Adventures Food and Wine, which starts March 1st. There's always cool stuff happening. So if you want to experience some of it for yourself, first person live, let me know. I will be glad to hook you up. I know there's weather around. I hope anybody that either got weather or is getting weather has a good time of it. Well, I don't know that good time is really the appropriate word, but I hope it doesn't create any problems for anybody. So everybody stay safe, stay well, have a good week, and I will see you next Friday at 4. Have a fabulous weekend. For those of you who have a long weekend because of President's Day on Monday, enjoy your extra day. Bye.